Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Wednesday, September 9th, just after midnight, Mountain Time 2020. I am so over Tuesday, but Wednesday's our lose day. Take a look at these totals. This hasn't even fallen yet, and it will be falling starting in just a few hours all day tomorrow. So we're going to keep a close eye on it. But the big story, Colorado wildfire explodes past 100,000 acres. Not the only state with wildfires exploding today, forcing immediate evacuations. Keep calm. It's boom time 2020. Wildfires lead to helicopter rescues in California and destruction in Washington state. Extreme weather battered the western U.S. on Tuesday, which was their lose day, with fires along the Pacific coast and snow falling in Colorado. Many people thought they were living in a dream, or perhaps Armageddon. Here's what you need to know. Wildfires, winds, and extreme temperatures are battering several western states. Helicopters have flown people to safety as Sierra Nevada forest burns. Malden, Washington is pretty much devastated throughout. I never even heard of that. In Colorado, we switched from summer to winter in just one day. Hey. PG&E has shut off power to tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. We'll get to that. There is a strong link between California's wildfires and climate change. Yeah, the people that believe in climate change caused the fires. They prevented management of the forest. They prevented cutting wood. They prevented everything that would have prevented fires. So in this case, it is caused by climate change, but by climate change alarmists specifically. We lost our home. A small California town was hit hard by the Creek Fire, and they should sue the climate change people, in my opinion. Moving on. Fire covers more than 330,000 acres in 24 hours, Washington governor says. Hours of powers. That's 1/3 of a million acres lit up like Schmidt in a day. The small town of Malden devastated with a host of landmarks reduced to nothing but rubble. Take a look at some of the shots. A wind-whipped wildfire roared through the state of Washington on Tuesday, virtually wiping out an entire small town and consuming more than 330,000 acres of brush and timber, authorities said. All this because environmentalists and fucktardia don't want you to cut timber. No, there's no more fossil fuels. There's no more wood. We're going to ban all wood stoves because we don't cut wood anymore. Well, you know what that results in? Every single person getting burned out of the state, period. Among the 9 significant fires across the state, at least 3 between Colfax and Malden in Whitman County had touched off Monday, officials said. Now, Australia, luckily, after the giant fires they had last season, has started to come around, and they started to realize that fire management, forest management, fire mitigation is important. Can you imagine that? It's like there was this big sound, and people's heads came right out of their... Power outages affect more than 100,000 customers in Portland. How will they riot? California's Creek Fire creates its own pyrocumulonimbus cloud. Say that 5 times fast, but you can't. Instantaneously. Now, I saw this yesterday morning on the SAT, but all of a sudden it goes 1, 2, boom! Right like that. And then that's how you get a pyrocumulonimbus. Again, say that 5 times fast. Dense smoke blankets the Bay Area. Strong Diablo winds cause extreme fire danger conditions. A red flag warning is in effect for most of the North Bay area and East Bay until midday. Hey. Wow, they rhymed that. Power outage got U.S. showing over 1/3 of a million people totally fluxed. 113,000 left without power in Oregon due to winds. Washington State, 44,000. California, 173,000 boomers laid in rolling blackouts in the foothills. 132,000 without power in Utah. What happened there? 12,000 in New Mexico, and 138,000 people still without power after Hurricane Laura. Wasn't that like a year ago? National Weather Service map showing winter storm watches and warnings throughout the entire upper tier of the U.S. Take a look at that. Hundreds of counties. Winter storm watches and warnings across most of Colorado, a great portion of Wyoming, a portion of northeast Utah, and even all the way down in Albuquerque sections of New Mexico under winter storm watches and warnings. Those red flag warnings in Nevada, California, Arizona, Oregon, Washington, those are not ending anytime soon. And neither is there any moisture. The only state with hopes of moisture in the next 14 days is Washington. And look, there is no description of what's going on. That's how up it is. Nothing. Just take a look at the map and be amazed. That's what they're saying right there, in my opinion. Here is the total precipitated moisture for the next 14 days. And you can see that little bit of moisture I'm talking about coming into Washington State here. And that won't start to hit the ground until about Tuesday, the 15th of September. So that's quite a few days off. Prior to that, nothing. And then all the way through the end of September, nothing. Not a single drop for California or Nevada, except maybe right there, which is just a drop. So these fires in southern Oregon, Washington, especially the Willamette fire here on the border, they're going to continue to burn unabashed for quite a bit. Time to move. You're looking at the snowfall analysis for the last 24 hours ending 7 a.m. Tuesday, this morning. And there's a significant amount in Wyoming. Significant. We're talking areas of 12, 18, 16 inches. This is in the summer of Bummer 2020. By tomorrow night's podcast, we're going to be looking at totals that are completely eclipsing the ones you're looking at here in Colorado. Mark my words, we'll be back in 24. So check us out. Those are the models, and that's what we're going to be witnessing tomorrow. Those snowfall totals, which are starting now and extending for the rest of the day. You get it. Bodies of missing California couple found at the bottom of a well in Mexico. These are well-traveled expats living in Mexico, like the Dollar Vigilante and others. They were found at the bottom of a well. Now, they've been there since 85. They know all the roads in Baja, so something is afoot. And there are dozens of people going missing and all dead in that region. So we had been warning as of 2 years ago to not go to Mexico anymore. But do as you will and will as you do. No, we don't want to copy that. We do not want to be found at the bottom of a well. Boom! NSA program exposed by Edward Snowden ruled unlawful 7 years later. It's true. And we have the documents. This is the Snowden's tweet. So we're going to just take a look at the Snowden tweet. 7 years ago, as the news declared I was being charged as a criminal for speaking the truth, I never imagined I would live to see the courts condemn the NSA's activities as unlawful. And in the same ruling, credit me, says Edward Snowden. Kudos to Snowdy. Time to smoke a bodie. I mean, that is worthy. He will never be acquitted in the U.S. I think they would still hang him. But even though our courts deemed that what he did was unlawful, no, what he exposed was unlawful. What he did was unlawful before it was exposed it was unlawful. Do you see that jargon, how that works? Anti-border fence, Michigan Governor Whitmer building an 8-foot-high electrified fence around her residence. Well, isn't that the pot calling the kettle black, Mrs. Whitmer? Do as I say, not as I do. I have an appointment tomorrow to get my hair done. Everything is closed, though. COVID-19 and obesity. Doctors studying the link between excess weight and severe disease. We talked about this 6 months ago. Yes, and it's true. 90% of all the people that die from COVID are obese, eat processed foods, have no nutritional content in their body, or above the age of 70. Now, this is coming from Horowitz. Thousands of cases in universities as they open, but not a single hospitalization. That's not going to prevent draconian lockdowns and other things occurring because they need to sell the vaccines. Now, here's the statistics of all of the colleges, and we're talking about over 25, almost 26,000 cases of COVID. Take a look at how many people are sick and in the hospital. That would be 0. Now, the CDC is not an independent agency, in case you just got here. It is a vaccine-producing company that's funded by some of the biggest a-holes on the planet, by the way. 20 vaccine patents that they own, sells $4.6 billion of vaccines every year. And that's a fact. Hope you got something out of the video. Do not take the prick. Unless you're sick as a mother. Not a single hospitalization, and they are shutting down universities. It's so dangerous! Ah, Karen! We love each and every one of you. Thanks to our one-time donors. Crestone Energy Fair. Have you heard about it? It's the most fantastic place you can be, either live or virtually. Currently, Crestone is being buried by the global warming goodness, but the sun will come out. It is the summer. It will melt, and we will succeed. Share this with like-minded people. Be safe. We love you. That's boom. To 0 hospitalizations. That's none, by the way.